Home with God, Chapter 23. No death is wasted, and all death brings a message to those who leave the earth and to those who remain. That is a wonderful story. It illustrates perfectly how each journey through the space-time continuum is designed to bring every soul a special experience, and how the timing and the circumstance of every death is always perfect. I certainly do not see how it was perfect that this young man left his body when he did, because he said he wanted to meet and know his biological mother, and he was given his wish through the device of his death. What I don't see is how it was perfect that it all had to happen this way, and I certainly don't see how this young man had the special experience that he came here to experience. Billy came here to experience being frustrated all of his life and then having to die in a motorcycle accident just to finally meet his mother. Come on. Do not presume that you can know or can surmise from the facts what is the path of the soul. You cannot know of the delicate interweavings co-created by all of the blessed beings involved in the life experience just related. Billy came here to serve all agendas. All agendas. There were many souls interacting and co-creating here, as there are in every moment of life, everywhere. In this case, those souls included the young man on the motorcycle, his biological mother, his adoptive mother, his adoptive father and his brother, as well as the soul of the person driving the vehicle that hit and killed him. And this says nothing about other souls, some of them more removed, such as the young man's biological father, the friends and relatives of all of these people. And are you ready for this? You and the people in your workshop. Each has an agenda that is being served. And so, with this understanding, we come to the 12th remembrance. The death of every person always serves the agenda of every other person who is aware of it. That is why they are aware of it. Therefore, no death and no life is ever wasted. No one ever dies in vain. This places personal tragedies and national disasters and mass casualty tolls and the deaths of every individual into an entirely different context. Suddenly, everything from the crib death of a single baby to the annihilation of thousands can be understood in a whole new way. Yes, when you understand the endless and miraculous interweavings of life, every death is transformed into an event of enormous celestial significance. The deaths of 9/11 and the deaths of the tsunami of 2004 and the hurricanes of 2005 and the deaths of the genocide in Darfur and the deaths of the Holocaust are all elevated to a place of honor. The deaths of grandmas lying in sick beds for years, and the deaths of children darting into unsuspecting traffic, and the deaths of AIDS patients, and the deaths of test pilots, and the deaths of people who died in peace and who died in violence, heroic deaths, and deaths that go unnoticed. all deaths are elevated to the level of extraordinary meaningfulness, for every life touches thousands, and every death redeems them. All death is redemptive, because all death returns each soul to the truth of itself, to the truth of life, to the truth of God. And every person who is touched by any death is opened to this truth, and so may experience it as well. I tell you, no death is wasted, and all death brings a message to those who leave the earth and to those who remain. It is for you to seek that message, and to find it, to hear it, and to heed it. What is the message of the Holocaust? What is the message of 9/11? What is the message of the tsunami and the crib death and the AIDS patient and the loving grandparent who slips away in the middle of the night? Indeed, what is the message and the purpose of all death and all of life? Will you tell us? Can you tell us here? The message is what you announce it to be. The purpose is what you demonstrate it to be. You do the announcing and the demonstrating through the living of your life. You are both the message and the messenger. You are both the creator and the created. You are in the process of producing the message even as you are delivering it. Indeed, the process of delivering it is the process of producing it. They are one and the same. Think on this. Think on this deeply. This much I can say to you. Life itself is a glory and a wonder far beyond anything you have previously imagined. And you yourself are a glory and a wonder far beyond anything you have previously experienced. This life which you live, this life which you are, is everlasting and eternal. It never ends, ever. All souls are interacting and co-creating in every moment. All souls. There is an interweaving going on. An interweaving that produces the breathtaking tapestry of life. Each thread takes its path, but to assume that each thread is therefore on its own would be to vastly misunderstand how the larger picture is created. My God, your God indeed. So life is not a singular experience. Actually, it is. It is the experience of the singularity, knowing itself as itself through the experiences of its individuations. But there is but a single agenda, and it is served through the distinctly different but remarkably conjoined experiences of every one of us. That single agenda is for divinity to be expressed and experienced in all its splendor, and to recreate and define itself anew in every single golden moment of now. How it expresses itself, how it experiences itself, how it defines itself is up to you. That is the decision you are making every day. That is the choice you are demonstrating every moment. You are doing so individually and collectively. Every act is an act of self-definition. Of this truth and many others, you will be reminded when you merge with the core of your being. It is here that you will be rejuvenated, reunited, and reintegrated. Should you have forgotten the original agenda, should you have lost your memory and your sense of who you really are? And if you have not, but rather have a full awareness of all of this and a full experience of it, it is at the core of your being where you will be replenished. The great misunderstanding of all those who have forgotten the ultimate truth, the great illusion of all those who live in temporary amnesia, is that there is somewhere they have to go, somewhere they have to journey in order to get to heaven or unite with God and experience eternal bliss. There is nowhere you have to go, nothing you have to do, and nothing you have to be except exactly what you are being right now in order to experience the bliss of the divine. You are the bliss of the divine, and you simply do not know it. Then why bother taking these endless trips through the apple orange? Why am I continuously journeying through the space-time continuum? Why have I undertaken this endless search for God? Your journey is not an endless search for God. It is an endless experience of God. Understood in this way, the reason for the continuous journey becomes apparent. The journey is a process. It is the way that you know God. Indeed, that you know yourself as that which is divine. This journey is therefore your greatest joy. Okay, so I am taking these trips through time and space in order to experience God. But when do I actually meet God? Earlier you said that God will be the first experience I will have after my death. If you believe that, it will be. If you believe that it will be, then it will be. But you do not have to wait until then. In fact, you have been meeting God all along. That is what I have been telling you. Here is the central error of most human theology. You think that one day you are going to meet God. You imagine that you are one day going to get back home. You are not going to get back home. You never left home.